bra.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Pulling up my shirt. Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
Hello.
I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7. Today we are Saturday, December 3rd, and this is episode 184. And what's going on?
I was just going to tell her you should have seen what I did to her when I first got here. She was looking all over the place for her glasses. I said, oh, you mean the ones on your head? And she starts going like this. There were no glasses on her head.
She's mean.
I am.
Mm-hmm. So that's me.
I'm Selma Knits. Almost call myself Selma123. That's a long gone name.
Yes, so long ago.
It's so long ago. It's ancient, man. Anyway, I'm Selma Knits. Welcome to the Two Tangled Skeins. This is a podcast about knitting and stuff. And
Life.
thank you for coming back and spending time with us if you're a returning viewer, and thank you for joining us if it's your first time.
We'll try not to scare you off too fast.
Too fast.
I'm Lynn, also known as Toll Baby. You can find us on Ravelry, Facebook. Our blog is at twotangledskeins.com. We're on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
We're everywhere.
We
You
are.
can't escape us.
You can't.
But we're not stalkers, we swear.
We swear.
Right, Stephanie?
That poor woman.
Who's Stephanie?
Here in
Pearl
Harlan.
McPhee.
Oh. Apparently we stalk her.
No. We don't. No, it's because she's had a stalker from Ottawa before. Like, somebody actually stalked her.
Oh.
And so that's why she doesn't come to Ottawa. But,
oh, dear.
yeah. She won't do stuff in Ottawa. She won't do book signings. She won't do lectures.
We're not all creepy, I promise.
No, but it was bad enough that she doesn't come back. But it was funny because we took a class with her out in Perth, and I said, we're not stalkers. And she says, well, you're Canadian. You're mostly harmless. We are.
Didn't she say that at a festival
Mostly
once?
harmless. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was our first Rhinebeck when we ran into her.
That's our identity. Mostly harmless. We're Canadian. Mostly harmless.
Yep, pretty much.
Anyway, yeah. So there you go. So hello. It's been a while. When was the last time I was on?
3 weeks?
Really?
I think.
It feels like forever
3
ago.
or more.
No, it was 3.
Really?
Because I was poking around show notes the other day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. It really feels like those were really long weeks. Have they added days to the weeks or something? Because it really feels
I think
like it
maybe
was a
they have,
long
because this
time
week
ago.
was really long.
It's been an intense time, I think, because it's been my daughter's birthday, and my daughter's birthday is never just a one-day affair, because there's, of course, her friend's birthday party, and then the family birthday party, and I've made
Dinner
and cookies, and
not being able to eat them.
yeah, so it really feels like it's been a long time. Yep, nope, I haven't eaten anything. I've been on a little bit of a experimental eating thing.
Mm-hmm.
Journey. There it is. That's a good word. Thank you.
Totally sounded like you said Jeremy.
No.
And I haven't had
Gotta be good for something.
a whole lot of things in the last 2.5 weeks. So, anyway, I'm feeling very good, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, no cake. But it does feel like it's been forever. And before I forget, I wanted to thank all of you who posted, whether on YouTube or in our Ravelry group, who posted names of games. I am, now that November's over and my daughter's birthday's gone, now I need to race towards Christmas. And I'm usually a little bit more organized. I'm feeling a little anxious this year because
It's December.
it's December and I've usually got everything kind of under control at this point, and I'm nowhere near that. So anyway, I am looking forward to looking up those games, and there were card games and board games. So if you're interested in hearing what people had to say or in reading about what people had to say, you can go onto the YouTube page for that particular episode, whichever one that was, and or into the Ravelry group. I think it was the face pudding one.
Was it?
That's the one.
Well, I'll add it to the show.
Anyway, yeah, so if you're looking for games, there were some great suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, thanks a lot. That was great. So should we talk about foes?
Go for it. I'll just sit here and knit.
I'm mid-row.
Selma, take it away.
You're knitting the round.
Okay.
You could stop anytime.
Anytime one of us
No,
is
I'm not.
anytime one of us is knitting in the round, we go, not her.
Okay. All right. So, what do I have? Oh, I guess I'm wearing one.
Yes.
Um,
One of my favorites.
am wearing the Featherweight cardigan by Hannah Fettig, which I made with yarn from Bittersweet Woolery. What was the colorway?
It's in the show
Wicked.
notes.
It was called Wicked, and it's in her glitter base.
Yep.
So there's glitter happening on this sweater. I think you can actually see it. So that was yarn that I bought at Rhinebeck in 2015, so last year, and I quickly made it into a featherweight. And I really enjoy this cardigan a lot. The only problem with this cardigan, there are two problems with this cardigan. One has nothing to do with the design. The first thing is that the color is just, it's an awesome color, but it's a slightly difficult color to pair things with.
It's not the perfect plum.
It's not like purpley. It's somewhere between purple and what was the color you used?
It was Wicked. Look at that.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Well, I had
Yeah,
shut
and so
up.
I've found
She
it.
doesn't always have colorway names in her project pages.
Ladies. So I have found it difficult to pair this with clothing in my wardrobe. So that's one thing. The other thing that I find is when you, and this is the second top-down cardigan that I've made that kind of goes straight down like this. It doesn't have a V, it doesn't have buttons. I find that it can be a little on the floppy side, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for something a little bit tailored, this is not the cardigan to make because it's not tailored. It's kind of a bit of more of a laid-back bohemian kind of look. So it's also one that I feel like I have to wear in a certain way. I have one top that I wear it with to work, but mostly I've been finding it difficult to pair it with something. So I almost feel like making another featherweight in a color that's just a little bit easier to pair things with. So we'll see if I ever get there. So that is one FO. The other FO is a pair of socks. I showed them on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, this is not new. But I finished the Into the Twilight socks that I made for a friend of mine who doesn't watch the podcast, but I'm going to be giving her these for Christmas. And it's the Arnie and Carlos line from Regia. And such a fun yarn to work with. Very easy yarn to work with. Not splitty. It's got a nice feel to it. Like a Regia, it's got, you know, a very slight scratchiness to it, but you know, I don't find that bothersome.
Well,
it does, well. Yeah. And well, they've got a guarantee, you know, for 10 years or something like that, or is it a lifetime guarantee? Anyway, their socks are not supposed to wear out very easily, and so this was a lot of fun to work with. And I made them toe up, casting on magic cast on 14 stitches on each needle, and then up to, I decided to go to 64, although I usually do 60, just because it's just a lot easier to do the basic gusset heel, which is what I made on these socks. It's my favorite heel. It's just really easy, and I've got it memorized, so I don't have to think very much. Which is what's nice about a plain vanilla sock. You don't want to have to think too much.
Well, and I mean, the yarn does it for you.
Exactly. So this is going to be, it's the first knitted Christmas present that's finished for this year.
And even in that respect, with your standards, you're behind. Normally your Christmas stuff is done by December. Normally your Christmas knitting
It's not
is
Christmas
done.
morning yet. She's not behind.
No, but
No.
according to the way Selma knits, normally she has what she wants knit done by now.
Yeah, to be brutally honest, I don't actually knit for Christmas that much. I usually make maybe one thing, and this time I'm stretching.
You made more.
Not a lot, but this time I decided to stretch myself a bit, and I'm actually making 4 things for Christmas for people. So,
and I kind of had to laugh because I'm knitting with the same yarn.
yeah, she's got
I'm using
a
her
square
mini.
going. And then the last thing was I had a giveaway on Instagram, and the winner was our friend Brandy, who's Eat My Yarns on Ravelry and Instagram. And she chose, if you saw it, there were 5 choices of yarn. They were all Malabrigo yarns, and she chose one that was in chunky and kind of a turquoise. And I have finished the hat. Now, I don't want to spoil it for Brandy, just in case you're watching. But I'm going to show it to you scrunched up. And then once Brandy has received it, I'll post a picture. Okay, so here it is scrunched up. Here's the color. Ooh, it's coming out a little bit brighter than it really is. It's a little bit earthier than that in reality. But there is Brandy's hat. It was really fun to work with. This hat, it's a slouchy-ish hat, and it took the entire skein of Malabrigo Chunky. So it was a perfect kind of
beautiful and nice sized hat.
Yeah, and I knit it with largish needles because it's chunky. I went with 5.5 and 7.5, and the pattern is a modified pattern. I found a baby hat that I thought I liked the stitch on it, and I kind of modified the stitch slightly and modified the count and kind of did my own thing. But I'm really quite happy with it, actually. I think I might make it again. For myself. So
notes.
I did take notes, and I thought maybe I'll actually write this up, and if other people want to make it, they can. We'll see if I actually get there. So anyway, so Brandy, that's going to be on its way soon. And that's it for FOs. Uh-oh, are you mid-row again?
Yes, I am, but they're shorter rows now.
I was going to say, I can't go because I got no foes.
I know. Well, I can talk about the first one because I can't show it to you.
Yes.
You saw last week that I had cast on the basic baby hat by Angela Jurgens. And it was out of leftovers of the Collinette Jitterbug in the Mardi Gras colorway. Mm-hmm. And the hat was done on 4.5 and 5mm needles, which is US 7 and 8. So sock yarn on those big needles made a very stretchy hat. And the hat and the sweater were given to their intended recipient on Wednesday. And she flipped. She was squeeing. She was hyperventilating.
Are you sure you want to give this to me?
And she kept asking me, are you sure you want to give this to me? And I was like, well, I knit it for you, so yeah, pretty sure. That's the plan. So there was hugging, there was crying. It was
well,
something.
She's a new grandmother. She's very emotional.
This isn't her first grandchild.
Oh, no?
No, she has a 2-year-old grandson.
It's a new baby.
But yeah, new baby, and it was a difficult delivery, so there was that whole thing. But it was funny because she was so excited about it. 'Cause she's been watching me knit it for like a week. And the sweater at least. And she was like, I thought you were knitting that for one of your friends who had a baby. And I was like, well, I was.
Now I'm knitting it for you.
Well, no, I was knitting it for her specifically. I started it after her daughter had the baby.
Yeah.
And so she was so excited about it. And even my boss was like, holy cow, you made that? The big boss. He was, and the next morning I got on the elevator with him and he's like, how long did that take you?
I don't know, about a week.
Not even.
No.
Like 4 or 5 days.
It was so adorable, that
it
cardigan.
was so sweet and small and little and itty bitty.
And bright. Holy brightness.
Oh, yes. That yarn bled a lot.
Yeah.
Sue washed and blocked it for me and it bled.
The water was this color. Purple.
I sent a message to Collinette because I really was not impressed that a commercially produced yarn was that.
Well, and when I put it in the water, I was like, oh, geez, took it out right away and then added vinegar. Oh my.
Yeah.
Because Jen said her yarn is still bleeding.
Yeah.
And was it the same colorway?
No, it was a different colorway. But it was
really?
still Collinette. So I sent them a message because I really wasn't impressed.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of dyers, it'll leak once and then they'll figure out a different process and it doesn't leak again. But to
it's
just
pretty
continue
easy to make it
producing
color
yarn
fast.
that bleeds like that,
even after
really unprofessional.
Like even after I soaked it in vinegar, there was still a little bit of purple coming out.
Yeah. So I warned Estelle to be really careful when she washes, because I didn't wash the hat either. So I told her, I said, the first time you wash the hat, just run it under water. Like, have water running through it, and that will take the dye away. But,
I didn't know. I soaked it, because that's how I do things.
So anyway, that was my first bow, and now that I'm done my row, I can show you the second one. So Selma showed you a pair of socks, and I have a pair of socks.
Yay!
I only put one of them on blockers because I was saving one for Selma. What did I do with the other sock?
I'm sorry.
There
The
it
other
is.
sock's on the table and the other blocker's there
Yes.
if you're so inclined.
Yes, I am. Because, I'm showing off Rob's sock blockers at the same time. If I can ever get this on. one. I'm trying to do it without snapping it. There we go. So I do actually have a pair of socks. So
Super fun.
So this was Brandy's pattern. It's by Brandy Miller. It's called the Running Through Socks. And it was a test knit I was doing for her. The pattern is now published. You can find it by either looking for Brandy Miller or for Eat My Yarns.
Here is the...
Oh, look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Super fun.
it was an awesome pattern to knit. This is probably one of the fastest pairs of socks I've ever done for myself.
Because you just couldn't stop.
3 weeks. Well, that and I love stripy yarns. I can't help it.
And
you just want to keep knitting until the stripe is done.
your first toe up, what did you think of it?
I liked it. I don't know that I'll do all my socks toe up, but the ribbing was certainly a whole heck of a lot easier with an entire sock behind it to stabilize it.
Yeah.
I hate starting with ribbing. Unfortunately, I'm still going to have to do cuff down for Rob's socks. Because he doesn't, nothing's allowed to change on his socks.
It ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I'm tempted to break it.
So what was the yarn again?
This is Lollipop, traditional base, which I believe is no longer produced. She still
Traditional?
has...
I don't...
No, I think she discontinued the traditional.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Peaches and Herb is the colorway, and the heel is done out of loops and thread wool-like, which I can never, ever, ever recommend to anyone.
Never again.
I would never recommend this yarn to anybody. I did 2 little heels. I used maybe 30 yards of yarn. I encountered 5 knots in those 30 yards. So I'm really not impressed with the loops and thread. It's very soft, and I'm sure it will wear like the devil, but it's full of knots, and I can't be bothered with yarn that's that bad. I'll have to check the red skein I bought to see if it's the same, but I'm basically planning on throwing the rest of the gray skein out. Like 600 yards of yarn. I'm going to throw it out because I'm never going to use it again. What, do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I might
Sue's
use
going
it
to have
for
it.
something. Like to stripe a baby sweater or something.
You'll swear at it.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
But yeah, I'm just not impressed today. Between the Collinette and this. And yet I've had a really awesome morning. So that's my other faux, and this was done on 2.5mm needles, which is US 1.5.
Did you sleep in?
I did not sleep in, actually. I was up at 8.
Oh, but you had a good morning.
I did. I went to Wool Time.
Oh, nice.
I went to a yarn store, and I walked out with nothing.
Ooh, but it is nice to go and see some candy, isn't it?
Yeah, and they have Richard DeVries yarns now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because he did a trunk show.
And I barely resisted. Barely. I was petting it.
Oh, dear. Does that mean I need to go visit?
Sarah came out with a skein of Handmaiden.
They do have some nice yarns
They
there.
do, and they have a brand new shipment of Handmaiden, so there's a lot of it. And some of those colors were pretty nice.
I bet.
Right in your range.
Oh, dear. Don't tell me that.
All you have to do is not go into the store.
I'm not going to the store.
So that's it for faux. What you working on, Sue?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Reading a pattern.
Yes, I waited until you were doing something.
I'm very proud of myself.
Oh.
You got the heel!
I got the second heel done on the Boba Fett socks for the man. It's the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And I must have torn this sucker out 4 times because I kept putting it down and not indicating where I was. So, picked it back up. Got most of it done. So this is a lightly based on the basic rib sock by Kate Atherley. But what I did this time... Can I have a blocker?
Yes.
Please, since you know there's tons of them here.
Pull the sock off.
Thank you. Because I just want to show what I did.
I'll just reach down there and grab my sock. Sorry.
My husband usually likes 2x2 rib, but I wanted to try something different, so I did 5 rows plain knit stitch and then 5 rows of 2x2 rib. I wanted to see if it would give it like a different kind of stretchiness to it. So
Gave a very nice texture.
So you can see like the texture. The leg is just going to be ribbing because I asked him about that. So he doesn't know, but I told him they'd be done after Christmas because I had too much stuff to do. So I wanted to get the heel done so I can do the rest. Put them on 2x2. Sorry, put them on circular needles because this one's already done and finish them on the bus. So this is the Boba Fett colorway, which is like his favorite character of all the Star Wars characters. And this is, where's my name?
And it's knitting up really nicely too.
I was gonna say you're all the way.
I'm on
are you
the other
second
page.
Yep. There we go.
And
You Who Knits.
You Who Knits.
Don't put that next to the
Sorry.
microphone.
And she's moved to Ireland now, and I think she started dyeing again. But as far as I know, she hasn't dyed any more of this, so it could be a one-off. Because I actually requested a Boba Fett colorway.
It kind of reminds me of the ketchup mustard relish yarn that maybe Philip gave
Yeah.
me a mini of.
I have a 20 gram from my barn raising of that. So this is knit on size 2.75 millimeters, which is a US 2. So yeah, that's it. What else am I knitting on? I did not achieve my goal of getting the sleeve done, but I got closer with doing the, you're going to see these decreases everywhere. This is the Marco Polo. That is
Not the right
for
pattern.
This is the Marco Polo by Ella Torrente, and that's it there. And obviously I'm making mine out of 3 colors. It's being knit out of Cascade Superwash Sport, 220 Superwash Sport, in brown, cream, and burnt orange, on size 4 millimeters and 4.5, which is a US 6 and 7. And I was at, let's see if I can, because the screen's further away today. So there's the marker you see dangling. That's where I was. So I've gotten 2 full color repeats done. I have to do, I'm going to finish the white with the decreases and then the brown. So I have about 7 more rows of the white, and then I'm going to finish off with the brown, and I really don't care if it's too long. I might just keep going so I can fold it up. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no more stitch markers, so I just kept taking them from the bottom.
Yeah.
From the other increases, because they're not the same. So yeah, I've got quite a few done compared to last time.
Excellent.
So it's going to be nice. And this is just living in one of my own bags. I actually made this for my 11 by 11 cross stitch frame, and I thought I need something big for the sweater. So that's that. And the other project is living in my eyeball bag, which glows in the dark, which was, I did not know until I saw it glowing in my bedroom one night.
What is that?
There were 2 other bags like this, but they're gone. They're gone. And the last thing I'm knitting on, what did I do with it? Oh boy.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen
Sorry.
this project. Oh, there it went. I really wanted to see that project.
This? Do you know what's in here?
Well, you've been knitting on it.
Yes, but
You've
the
shown it
actual
on
project
Instagram,
is
but
in,
I haven't
the actual
seen it.
project is in here.
Oh, I see.
So this is my Christmas socks that I cast on. Sorry, I'm like, bleh. Okay. This is my Christmas socks that I cast on, and this yarn, did I even put it in the show notes? I didn't, did I? So this is yarn out of a Christmas kit that I got from Night Owl Fibers. And I'm doing Brandy's socks. So you can kind
So
of
the
see
running
it.
through socks.
Yeah, so, and it is sparkly. And it's in there because the ball
As is
driving
the
me
yarn
nuts.
it.
Yes.
The yarn it and the yarn. It's a sparkly experience.
So I, even using the Progress Keeper she included, which is a little candy cane. And I'm making noise. So I just started, I've got 1 repeat
Colors
of the
are
pattern.
It's okay, I was
Beautiful.
hitting on here, not
Okay.
the microphone.
Yeah, so, did you notice something?
Did I notice something?
Color.
There's pink.
Pink and green.
Those 2 seem to attract me.
Yeah, you seem to like pink,
But I will
as long
not-
as there's green in it.
And I will not wear pink here.
Yeah, let's see.
Says the woman with pink all over her shirt.
But it's not all pink. And this is living in a bag that Mandy of Mandy Pinecone Crafts podcast made for me. Look, small foxes. Sorry.
Not only did I make you check your head for glasses that weren't there, but I've made you grab your boob on the podcast.
Yep. So that was made for me, and I love it. And I'm going to show this quickly, but I'm not going to show my progress. So this is my scrappy blanket that I'm knitting in the 2016 mini advent cal in the Canadian Knitter podcast group. And I went ahead and I made myself 24 pillow boxes, glued them, And I posted this on Instagram, and so in here, that my yarn is in here, so I just need to pick every day. My daughter picked for me today. Where is it? No, did I not bring it? No, it's in the living room.
And why are you not showing us the blanket?
Because she hasn't finished her square from yesterday.
Oh.
Well, now that it's out there.
Sorry, we just.
Sorry, Sarah. Let me know if it counts.
It counts. You're fine.
Okay. So.
Jeez, woman.
Sorry, I'm having issues here. This is my blanket. Basically, it's a long triangle scarf thingy. So I had one left to add, and it's this pink stuff here that I added. And I don't know most of my colorways. Some of them I know, but most of them I do not, and it doesn't really matter to me. Did I lose my ball? And so this was what I chose for yesterday. Look at this.
Perfect.
It's green. It's
And sparkly.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is when I'm opening a pillow box, I'm taking a picture of the yarn just sitting outside, like just a nice little photo. And I'm using my needle case that came with my other bag from Mandy. And this is my Christmas bag. And this is knit on size 2.25 millimeter, which is a US one.
Just noticing you're both working on blankets.
That's why I wanted to join, because I tend to miss a lot of the chatter in our Facebook chat group, so I kind of have to ask sometimes, what are you guys talking about? And then they said it, and I was like, oh my lord, I am all over this. I made 24 pillow boxes. I had them all over me on the couch.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I have the paper from scrapbooking. And,
Yeah.
and somebody on Instagram was like, where did you buy those? I'm like, didn't buy them. I'm crazy pants.
Yeah, no, I loved the idea because I thought this would allow me to make progress on my blanket, my crocheted blanket for my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I'm not going
Pressure?
to end up finishing my Christmas presents, and that's kind of more important. So that was, I ixnayed that.
Ixnayed,
Mm-hmm.
vetoed.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you do what you got to do, right?
You do what you got to do. If there were the 24 days of January, I would do it then.
See, yeah, I can do a square a day. I was doing pictures and Etsy stuff yesterday.
And I am planning on casting on Christmas Eve with Danny of Little Bobbins. She's got her Christmas Eve cast on.
I was going to wait, but I couldn't do it. Brandy, it's your fault. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Pattern
I'm
is
gonna
beautiful.
be. I have this peppermint bark by Wool Barn that I had done a swap with my friend Dana in Germany, and I'm like, that is becoming the Mercury socks.
I've never heard of that.
Mm-hmm. Kristen of Woolenvine just finished a pair.
Oh,
Yeah,
those.
and I was like, oh, I think I need those in pink.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's what I'm planning on doing that. So yeah. So
Sorry,
I'm
There's
just
your whips.
every time I come to Sue's place, I choose a cup of tea or a cup, and I pour my tea in there.
She commandeers a mug.
Mm-hmm. I do. I'm sick and tired of drinking out of a travel mug. They're okay, but it's nice to drink out of a real cup. And if there's a real cup nearby, let's do it.
Yep, that's what I was doing at work.
Yeah, and I'm drinking Snow Day. Is it Snowy Day or Snow Day? By David's Teas. It's kind of a white chocolate mint
See, that
thing.
you lost me at mint.
I know, but I like it.
I know.
I have
It
a
smells
little canister of
delicious.
it from Sue's
It
advent
does
calendar
smell
last
good, eh?
year.
It does.
It's really nice. I have to say, I really like it. All right. Num num num. So I'm working. I just cast this on last night, and it looks so small.
It's
This
gonna
is supposed
stretch.
to be a hat.
Stick it on your head. Do it.
Stick it on my head. I'm gonna stick it on.
She's gonna look like a hippie, but it's okay.
Yeah, it'll work.
It's because it's the needles.
Hare Krishna. No. Sorry. It just made me think of the movie Hair. Do you remember that movie? I love that movie.
Some hair going.
Anyway.
Lynn is biting her tongue right now.
All right.
But the viewers expect this kind of thing from you.
Oh, I'm
Singing.
singing.
And sorry, interpretive dance, Jen.
up.
You can't even leave the house with them.
Sometimes. Anyway, so what am I making, you're wondering?
Yeah.
Besides a hippie headband? This is a hat. This is another Christmas present for a friend of mine. We call her Auntie Lee because she's just a wonderful friend with my kids. She just takes them out all the time and does stuff. She's a good family friend, and she's got aunt status in our house because I'm actually an only child, so there are no aunts or uncles on my side. And Alejandro, my husband, his entire family is in Uruguay, and although we see them,
It's not
infrequently.
it's like once every year or once every 2 years. It's nice to be able to have somebody. We've got two friends who are like
surrogate
aunties.
aunts.
Yeah, and they take the kids out. In fact, Isla, as we are here, she is making cookies with Tia Tam. We call her Aunt Tamara. And then next weekend, Isla's going shopping with Lee, who I'm making the hat for. So it's just awesome. So she is one of those people. She's kind of like you, Lynn. She's always hot, doesn't tend to wear knitted stuff, but she actually sort of said, it would be great to have like a really nice sort of like light lacy slouch. And I was like,
Not many people will ask you to knit lacy. Like, unless it's a shawl or something. With hats, people usually want that, like Brandy's hat.
But she was like, I don't want something that's going to keep me warm, because she's like, I don't need it. I just want kind of an accessory. So I had actually knit her a shawl a few years ago out of Malabrigo. Darn it, what was the colorway now? It's left my brain for a while. But I said, well, did you like that color? And she said, I'd like that, but a bit more red, like a garnet kind of color. So when we were at Rhinebeck, I found this yarn by the Periwinkle Sheep.
Sorry, I'm going to go into the fetal position if I look at your yarn.
Yeah, Sue wound it for me, and she swore as much as I would have sworn if I wound it. So I feel like, okay, next time I'll just let myself do the swearing. So it's this colorway.
No, I'll do it, because I love you.
It's the Periwinkle Sheep, and it's in her watercolors, super wash merino base. 460 yards. It's like a lot. And it's this thing called Shields of Garnet, and it's really a beautiful garnet color, and I think she's going to love it.
It's pretty. It's just so rich.
So
kind of matches Lynn's shirt.
What am I making? I am making the Skinner hat by Melissa Labar, which I have actually had in my favorites since I joined. I feel like it's been in my favorites for at least 5 years.
I think more.
And possibly more. And so that is the hat. It's a black and white copy, so not an excellent
but you
image.
can see the gist.
If you fold the back down,
you can show the
better
other
picture.
This
A
one?
little more detail. Yeah.
There you go. There it is. So I'm intending to make it a little bit more slouchy. I'm probably going to go up a bit of a needle size on the body of the hat. The ribbing is made out of 2.25, and then I think it's supposed to go up to a 2.75, and I'll probably go up to a 3 to help it get a little bit more slouchy. And then it'll be that fashion accessory that she's looking for. And that is being housed in my Buku bag. I love Buku stuff. She's out of Toronto, and it's Bookhou. I don't know if you can read that. Can you read that? It says it there. Anyway, she prints her own canvas fabrics and then makes bags. She sells some stuff through Fringe Supply and Company. And I follow her on Instagram. It's amazing. I haven't bought anything else from her, but her stuff is just beautiful. Always very simple prints. And she makes all kinds of things. And yeah, so that is something I actually just casted on last night. So I'm supposed to do, I think, 2 inches of ribbing. I've got about 3/4 of an inch done so far. So I'll do that. Then I'm knitting another pair of Arnie and Carlos socks. My mother, when she saw me knitting the orange ones for my friend Judy, she was like, those are so nice. So I thought, I'm going to make my mother a pair of socks. I've made her clothes. I've made her a skirt, and I've made her a sweater, and I've made her
summer top.
I made her a summer top. Oh, I made her a knee warmer. I knit her a knee warmer, kind of like a leg warmer at one point. And I want to make her a hat at some point, but I thought I'll make her a pair of socks for Christmas. So I've got a hoe for ho ho ho. Oh, something made a funny noise.
I'm sorry. That's my phone. I thought I turned the volume down.
So I am using another Arnie and Carlos colorway. I believe this is called Summer Nights. And I finished this first sock, and I made it exactly the same way as the other, with 2.25 millimeter needles, 28 stitches to start, toe up, basic gusset heel by Wendy D. Johnson. I always do 12 rows of ribbing at the top before I bind off, and that's it. And actually, I've started knitting at work, because we often meet at lunchtime and knit, eat lunch and knit, and I thought, why don't and I had recommended that to you, and then I followed my own advice. I thought, why not have a sock at work, a project at work that I just do.
To carry back and forth.
Yeah, and although there's not a whole lot to carry, right? It's a light little bag, and again, it's in the same.
But you always know you'll have knitting at work.
Exactly, so I don't have to forget anything, right? So anyway, it's being housed in here, and I haven't started the second sock yet because I started the hat. But I'll be doing that this week at work. And it'll be finished for Christmas. No problem.
Well, and the thing about a vanilla sock is you have an hour for lunch. You can actually get quite a bit accomplished on a vanilla sock.
Absolutely. The last work in progress is a sweater that I'm making for my husband.
Oh, I haven't seen it since like the beginning.
You haven't, and at the very beginning it was housed in another bag, and now it's being housed in the mega bag that Sue made me at one point out of old Marimekko fabric.
And now you'll have to do your knitting all by yourselves.
I know!
You can stop by everyone.
Lynn was working with us, and she stopped working with us.
Well, okay. My contract ended. It wasn't my choice.
I feel like that. What's that?
So,
you know when Kermit is disappointed?
Oh.
You know Kermit when he goes,
yeah,
scrunches up his whole face. Anyway, yeah. So we've been knitting on the 14th floor.
Which
Got
is
kind of
where
like
I
our
sit.
own little spot there, and it's been great. So I haven't been bringing this to work. No one has seen it because it's just a little too big to lug around, and it's gone so fast. Now I bought 14 skeins of the Harrisville Tweed Watershed, which is supposed to be a worsted weight. My gauge was more like 15. Once I go in the round, it's a little bit tighter, I think. But it was around 15 stitches for 4 inches, so that is not a worsted weight. That is actually on the chunky end of things. So I bought 14 skeins. Each skein is 110 yards.
Well,
so
you were
I
doing the
essentially,
math according to the pattern.
yeah. So I essentially bought about 1,500 yards, but I'm only going to use 10 skeins. I'm going to have 4 skeins left of this stuff because it's just gone such a long way. So I'm almost finished. I almost finished the second sleeve last night, but I just couldn't do it anymore.
Sorry.
Got some action happening.
No, I'm
there.
having to text my daughter because she. Sorry, go ahead. She's
We'll
calling
ignore
me.
that. We'll just ignore that. So I'm making the Jaden, which is a pattern, and my picture's really crappy of it, so I'm not going to even bother showing it to you, but it's a pattern by Isabel Kramer, who designs all kinds of really nice, simple sweaters, almost always top down. And this, I think, was the first time she had a sweater for a man. And when I saw it, I instantly liked it, and I thought, I think that'll look good on Alejandro, and I think I can actually make it fit because
I have. Sorry, go ahead. I have a name for your pattern. Go ahead.
Which pattern? This pattern?
Yes, but finish what you were going to say.
So I made him a sweater, the Ranger by Jared Flood, 2-3 years ago.
I think this should be called "I'm Sorry About the Ranger." Kind of like Lynn's thing.
I'm sorry about the Ranger. It was a complete disaster. I don't know who it would fit. It was just a really odd design, or at least it came out oddly when I made it, because I saw lots of projects on Ravelry and they looked great. It was a bottom-up construction, and I think that with top down, I thought no matter what happens, I can manipulate it more easily.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, because the other one was a bottom, and then there was a whole, bringing everything together, and it was more complex. So I thought, this I can always modify. And I had to modify it because I would have probably made him the first or the second size to begin with. I'm married to a tall, lanky man. And I wonder if his arms are like orangutan's arms. I ended up, because the gauge was so off, I needed 20 stitches and I had 15. So I ended up having to modify the size and kind of do my own thing.
As she does.
I didn't have much of a choice. So here it is so far.
That's really, really nice.
Mm-hmm. So
it's kind of scratchy, but not too
It's
scratchy.
a little bit scratchy, but I feel, and actually the lovely guy, and he's really cute, the lovely guy who served me at Rhinebeck, he was there last year too.
Oh, the yarn?
He's lovely, the guy who works at the Harrisfield Tweed.
So you'll be going back?
Hello. Anyway, I said, does it pill? And he says it does, but if you just, shove it,
you have it,
shave it or brush it or
a
whatever.
gleaner.
Exactly. The first time he said after that it looks great. So, but it's been a beautiful yarn to work with. I love it. I would knit with it again, especially for something kind of rustic looking because it's a tweedy. And I'm never going to be able to... Whoop, we just froze.
It's okay.
It's
Keep
okay.
going.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything to the video.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Positive.
Okay.
I
don't
can't
know.
see herself right
I
now.
can't
There
see
you
it.
go.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the richness of the color because from a distance, it just looks like gray. But in fact, it is full of color. There is purple and green and red and yellow and all kinds of stuff happening in there. So all that's left to do is to finish this sleeve, and I'm about 2 rows from the cuff. So that'll get done tonight. And then I need to do the ribbing around the neck.
But he hasn't seen it since it was at what point?
Oh, he did try it on the other day because I was nervous about the length of the sleeves, so I wanted to try it on, and I'm glad because he said, yeah, I'd like it a little longer. And I was like, perfect. So,
okay.
Yeah, no, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
If you really want something to fit.
You can't make it a complete surprise.
No, next time, now having this as a model, next time I could easily do it.
Secret knitting.
And I would knit with this yarn again, and I would knit this yarn again.
I was going to say, when Sue said, oh, you'll be going back to that booth, trust me, if the guy had looked like Quasimodo, that'd still be the first booth she makes a beeline for.
Yeah.
She loves their yarn.
I do. I really do. And because they mill yarn for Brooklyn Tweed, they also have the Brooklyn Tweed yarns at that booth at Rhinebeck.
That's why that looks so lush and rich. Like, it reminds me of Brooklyn Tweed.
Yeah, well, they're the ones that mill the yarn for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a really lovely project to work on, and it's got kind of like a, what do you call this? Is this the double seed stitch at the top?
Moss stitch?
Moss stitch?
No,
I never
that's
know.
double
Moss,
seed.
seed, rice.
Seed is knit, pearl, knit, pearl, and then the same
pearl.
thing on the other side. Moss stitch is 2 rows of the same, and then 2 rows back of the
And
same.
then what's rice stitch?
I have no idea.
Is rice stitch just another name for seed stitch,
I
perhaps?
don't know. It might be.
Because I've seen rice
I
stitch.
just think you're hungry.
That's very possible. So anyway, there we go.
Jen's going to get all the teal. Didn't quite make it into the teal.
Oh.
Jen gets it all.
So there you go. That is that. And this was being knit on 4.5 millimeter needles. And yeah, it's going to be ready. It's going to be ready possibly by the end of this weekend. It would have been nice to have it as an FO for today, but...
But is he getting it at Christmas or now?
Oh, no. It's going to be his Christmas present.
Okay.
Just checking.
The main Christmas present.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Gorgeous yarn. So I'm really looking forward to see how it wears.
This is Arnie and Carlos. I can't do this.
Yeah, it's stiff yarn. And I'm looking forward because I'm going to Scotland in March for Edinburgh Yarn Festival. And I'm really pro tweed now. I've always been pro tweed, but I'm super pro tweed.
I don't. I do.
Never mind. Someone got it without tearing her finger off.
Oh. All right.
I came really close to tearing my finger off.
So I'll be left with 4 skeins of this stuff. I suspect. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with those.
Hat.
That's one
Yeah,
Mitts has.
there might be a hat and mitts involved. I think this would make great mitts, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a very nice, warm fiber.
I'm all done. Now I can go.
Good!
I finished my square. I'm so excited.
What do you mean now I can go?
Well, now I can show the completed square for day 3.
Oh, it's your turn now.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to finish it before she stopped.
45 minutes in, still in works in progress.
I was trying to finish it before she stopped talking, and I did it. Yay!
That's because I went on and on
So
and on.
I brought my scrappy blanket because I've been working on it quite a bit this week. I'm also joining I've already joined the 2016 mini skein Advent along that Sarah of the Canadian Knitter podcast is hosting. So since you guys saw this thing several weeks ago, I have added a square of the Collinette Jitterbug in the Mardi Gras colorway right here. I've added Sue's Mini. This is the Tangled Skeins CA's 7-year itch. Isn't it pretty?
Oh, yeah.
That's the one she sold, so you can't have it.
That's really nice, Sue.
It is.
Thank you.
You got to show that
And
close.
it was lovely. Yes, I'll try to get
Here,
it a
I'll
little
do it.
closer. Okay. That
Just
works.
hold the blanket so it doesn't go into the
the tea.
tea. Look at that. Look at the speckling on that. Really nicely done, Sue.
Thank you.
This skein's gone.
Yep.
But there are more.
Yes, there are.
Really, really nice speckling.
I'll just use you as my Vanna White. The stripy one next to it, because you can reach and I can't. The stripy one next to
The
it.
bright and obnoxious one next to it.
Yes, that is Cupcake Yarns in the Yummy base, and the color is called Mayflower. That's from Mandy. That was my day 1 square. The next one is also from Mandy. It's Fiber Stash is bigger on the inside. And then my day 3, which I just finished, is Regia, Arnie, and Carlos color number 3654, also known as Twilight. That Selma's socks were made out of.
Yeah.
So I'm all cut up. Haha.
Way to go.
Getting there. I'm getting there.
Yes, you are. You'll get 2 and 3 done today.
Oh, definitely.
The other things I worked on, you guys haven't seen these. Did I have these last weekend?
What are these? I can't see.
Rob socks?
I saw you working on it at work.
Yeah, but
I don't think
remember
so.
if I had them here.
No.
I think I might have started working on them on Saturday. So
Yeah, no, they were
I'll
definitely...
put the first one on a
sorry.
sock blocker so you can see it. I'm
A
afraid the
sock for Rob
blocker-
on a sock blocker made by Rob.
Yeah, and I think the sock blocker is actually going to be a bit small for his socks because he's got big feet.
That's okay.
It's okay.
But so that's the first sock. I finished that one in the spring.
And
Spring,
then
summerish.
couldn't find them.
And then I misplaced them, so I couldn't finish them. But now his birthday is coming up at the end of the month, and I kind of want to finish them. And I found them, so hurrah.
He's a New Year's Eve baby.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So in my lovely tulip bag from Mandy Pinecone, and my needle keeper, my dystopian Alice in Wonderland needle keeper. I love this one. I've got the second sock. I am a little more than halfway through the leg, because his leg is usually about 70 stitches, and I've got 40. So 30 more rows, and I'll have done the leg.
Oh, his leg is usually 70 rows?
70 rows, yes,
Okay.
not 70 stitches. It's
I was
80
like,
stitches around.
wow, that's a really wide foot.
80 stitches around.
Yes, because of his ankle.
Yes, he has one ankle that's a lot bigger than the other one, which is why it's such tight ribbing. Because he's got pins holding one of his ankles together. So this stretches quite a bit, and he really likes the fit of the 3x2 rib. I accidentally made him 2 pairs of socks in 2x2 rib, thinking that that's what I had done the first time.
Nope.
And he was like, you know, none of the socks you've ever knit me have ever fit as well as the first pair. And I was like, well, I'm doing the same thing. And then I looked at his first pair of socks, and no, I wasn't doing the
Oh
same
my
thing.
gosh.
It was 3x2.
It didn't
rib.
have enough stretch.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as stretchy as the other ones. The other ones would just sit open. They would sit wider than the 3x2. The 3x2 really cinch back in. So these are 3x2, and he's very much looking forward to having them, because he was bemoaning not having enough socks. He says,
You know what?
I'd wear the socks you made me more often, but they take so long to dry. I only have 3 pairs.
But you don't have to wash them every time.
He does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He
meticulous.
takes very good care of his socks.
He washes
Okay.
them and then he
Aye.
hangs them over the shower curtain.
And he looked, the first
the
time we
towel.
went to Vermont, we were talking about his hand knit socks because, of course, every time we go anywhere, he brings them so he can show people.
That's so cute.
That's
very cute.
It's adorable. And he was talking to Mandy about how, it takes forever to dry them, blah, blah, blah. And Mandy says, I just throw mine in the dryer. He looked so betrayed.
Why did you tell me I had to hand wash?
Why did you tell me I had to hand wash them if you can throw them in the dryer? And then Mandy clicked and she said, because yours are made of silk. One of the pairs I made him is half silk, half wool. You wouldn't be able to throw those in the dryer.
I wash mine on the delicate cycle and then hang them.
I wash
Or
mine
put them
in
on the
a
rack.
really big mixing bowl or tub.
By
He
hand?
washes his in the bathroom
Oh,
sink.
not I.
Basically, I know when it's time because the pile of socks ends up on the dog food bin in the kitchen.
But once you've worn handmade wool socks,
You're just
It's
like...
He
just-
loves them. He loves them.
Oh.
Way more than store-bought socks. Yeah, it was kind of funny this morning because
these are
when we
my
went to
I
Wool
Heart
Time,
Bees that I made a couple of months ago.
when we went to Wool Time, Sarah was wearing the socks I made her.
Yeah, no, it's really. I wear my socks from October to April.
Yeah, I was quite
Um,
sad when I took a picture of the hand-knit socks of my own and went, I really
That's
don't
all I
have
got?
a lot. Like, there was missing one pair of socks in the picture, but that was like 8 or 9 pairs. That's it.
Well, that was like me
No,
last
7.
year, and this year I've made 8 or 9 pairs for myself.
Yeah, because there was no shawls. Well, maybe 1 or 2. There was no sweaters this year.
A lot of socks.
A
No,
lot of socks.
I've made 8 shawls this year.
Right, it was shawls
8
and
shawls
socks.
and 8 or 9 pairs of socks for myself, plus I think 5 pairs of socks for others.
Overachievers.
So, but the thing was that last year, all my socks, I realized they're really wearing out because I wear them all the time, and I had 5 pairs.
Yeah.
And so I thought it's
Faster,
time to
lady.
start.
You need a better rotation.
Yeah, really, that's my problem. I just started to need to focus on socks a
You're
little
going to
more.
have to do an Operation Sock Drawer this year. Make yourself enough
2017.
socks.
Who was it that started that?
I don't know, but a lot of people
Because
are
Sock
doing
Talk
it on
is
Instagram.
is the grocery girls, and the box of socks is Kristen of Vine, our Yargasm.
Isn't
I don't
Operation
know.
Sock the grocery girls?
I don't think
Operation
they
Sock
started
Drawer.
it.
They have Sock Talk.
Or is it
I don't know who it
Knitmore
is.
Girls?
Is it the
I
Knitmore
don't know.
Girls? If you know, can you tell us?
Because they have Operation Sweater Chest.
Oh, so maybe it is them.
Maybe.
But
Anyway, yeah.
I forgot to mention that my mini blanket and about a third of my mini collection is living in this lovely bag that Sue made me from Fabric.
Look at the
Brought back
bags
from
I
the
made.
States.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've all
well,
got things that you made.
The second I saw this fabric, I was like, I must have this. I must.
Oh, and
it is mine.
there's some left, and I have plans for you.
Okay.
Woohoo.
I won't object.
Nope.
So I do have one more work in progress, and you guys are going to be amazed.
Woo! Look at that green.
Because the last time you saw this, I was way down there where the sock block, where the down there.
I
did
love
the
this green
color
up
ever
here.
change all of a
It's a
sudden?
beautiful color.
Well, it is a gradient.
It is, but
So you'll see at the bottom there, it's all yellowy green. And then the top, it starts to get a little more mossy. And it's going to go all the way into a blackish green. So I'm very much enjoying it so far. I think I'm at 23 or 24 teeth.
And you need 42.
I need 42. And
What
then I'm gonna
size
stop.
needles is that?
This is a US 3, which is 3.25 millimeters.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, it's on the show notes. You're right.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure if I'd written down the right one.
And
I know
sorry,
it's
who
written
was
on
the
here
gradient?
somewhere.
I'm like clearly
This,
not paying attention.
No, I didn't say it yet.
Oh, okay.
This is a gradient by My Color Wheelhouse.
Mhm.
And the colorway is Arctic Kiwi.
Beautiful.
And this is such nice yarn. And I'm actually using, she was very impressed last night, my Progress Keeper from Rabbit Ribbit Lamb. Because
Wow.
I was at their place last night and I showed her. I was like, look, I'm using it. I have to wait till I get past that point to put it on. Because otherwise it bugs me when I run into it. But once I'm past that point, I
You're
can
fine.
put it on and it's fine. But I can't touch it while I'm knitting. Like, I can't constantly be hitting my hand while I'm knitting.
No, because she honestly uses...
I use rubber O-rings and that's all I use.
Yeah.
But I ordered these because I wanted a Sarah Progress Keeper. So that's my last.
So that was a plug for Sarah's shop.
Yes. And that is living in my gamer widow bag. She is a friend of the podcast who lives in Australia or New Zealand. I think she's in Australia.
Yeah. She also has an Etsy shop.
She was the one who sent us all that Madame Flavor tea.
Yeah,
Yes.
that awesome tea.
She's a taster for Madame Flavor. So she gets samples of all their teas and stuff to try.
Yeah, you and
We're
I
not
were
gonna
thinking about placing an order with them at some point.
We're not going to say no.
We might have to place an
And
order.
the inside is this lovely fancy Fiesta fabric that I like so much.
Mine is holding all of the barn raising squares that I've made up to now, but it's going to start bursting at the seams.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on. And that's the Hitchhiker by Martina Beam.
My husband loves that name because I am sometimes a gamer widow. I was last year when Fallout came out.
Has he started playing Overwatch yet?
I was Fallout widow? No.
And do you know if he had?
No.
Yeah. Because my son is now playing Overwatch.
I don't know.
So, that's all I have for whips.
Oh my gosh, I think we finished with whips.
Yep.
We're on to stash enhancements.
Oh, lady.
Bin shopping?
No.
You don't have a stash enhancement?
I
Actually,
do.
before you go into stash,
But
you
I didn't
have
buy
that.
most of it. Yes.
On
the boob
Actually,
tube.
don't move because you've got yarn sticking to your
You
lipstick.
said something about a new podcast you're watching on the boob tube.
It's
Yes,
okay, I
true.
removed it.
Yeah. I just realized we haven't mentioned new podcasts that we've been watching or anything for quite a while, but I've been
Haven't
watching
had
the
time.
Fruity Knitting. Fruity Knitting, not the Fruity Knitting, but Fruity Knitting.
I watched them last night. I was like, oh my god, they're great.
I love their podcast. They're an Australian couple, although I think they're living in Switzerland. I'm not 100% sure, but there was all this footage. Anyway,
What do you know?
people move around. But they're a lovely Australian couple, and they have a very well produced. If you like the Bakery Bears, these guys are extremely well produced. They do a lot of different stuff. They have technique stuff. They have this Knitters of the World segment, and they flash what their CAL participants have made, and they had an episode. They showed an episode of what was it called? Ozzie and Harriet, an American sitcom from the 50s, and there was a knitting episode, a knitting sweater episode, or a sweater knitting episode. Anyway, I'll get there. Anyway, I really, really enjoy their show,
Banter
and they often interview professional designers. They did an interview with Jorge Locatelli, for example, and I think they did another one with
I saw a few faces that I recognized in the
yeah,
clips.
not coming to me right now. So anyway, I really enjoy their podcast. They're quite well known, but if you don't know them, I suggest you check them
It's
out.
about time you did.
Yeah. So there you go.
Now we can get into stash. Oh,
Do you want to mention the other thing first before we get into stash?
Oh, yes. Because we didn't put it in the show notes.
Well, it's here.
Well, yes, you did. But winter camp is coming.
Oh yeah.
The Canadian Knitter podcast is hosting winter camp again this year. It's our second year of camp, and things are going to be changing a little bit, but it's pretty much the same camp that you had fun with last year. So camp signups are open until December 20th. All you have to do to sign up is go into the group. It's called Winter Camp 2017, and claim your spot in the faux thread. That's it. Everybody who has claimed their spot in the faux thread by midnight on December 20th will be sorted into a cabin.
And
This morning when I was explaining it to Sylvia and Sarah, I said, you'll be sorted into your houses.
and there's not as many cabins this year, right?
No, there's only five cabins. So there are fewer cabin leaders, there are fewer cabins, and one of the big differences is that this year everybody will be eligible for the grand prize, not just the participants in the cabin that has the most points.
Okay, and who are the cabin leaders?
I don't know.
Oh, pay attention.
There's Sarah of the Canadian Knitter podcast. There's Mandy of the Mandy Pinecone Crafts podcast. There's Michael of the Gay Knitters podcast.
Is Andrea in there?
No,
Okay. Jen?
she's not. No.
Okay.
You,
I'm not in there.
Amanda, who used to be the
little panda, or panda.
yeah, but what was her podcast? I don't remember. But she no longer podcasts. She uses Twitch now, so I don't remember what it was called. Her
Selling
shop is
You and
Stitched
More
Together
or
4 year. Stitched Together 4G is her shop, but I don't remember what her podcast's name was, and I
We
feel
had a
really
hard
bad.
we had a tough time remember it when it was Stitching You and More.
That's it. I'm
Thank
sorry, Amanda.
I'm like You and More, something You and
And
More.
I think that's it. And me,
Yeah.
obviously. So anyway, come have fun with us. We are going to be having a lot of fun camping.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other big changes this year is that there are no day campers. There's no day camp cabin.
Okay.
It's all once December 20th comes along, you can't join after that. So if you want to come camp with us, you got to come camp with us now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to run from January 1st to March 31st. We are going to have a cast-on party on New Year's Eve again, 7 p.m. local time, wherever you are. And come join the fun.
And will there be, I guess there'll be hashtags as well for
I don't know.
for Instagram?
There's one for the
Probably.
mini advent. It's 2016.
Nope.
No, it's
It's
mini
Advent,
2016.
Mini Skein Advent 16.
Yes, 2016.
Nope. It's just 16.
Okay.
I've been using it since the first day.
And there's a lot, and she has some really nice prizes that she's going to give out.
Yes. She and Mandy are going to, and we're going to be having Blanket Square. We're going to be having like blitzes during camp where you have 72 hours to knit as many blanket squares as you can. And there are going to be special prizes for that too. So,
Cool. Excellent.
That's
So
it.
now we can do stash.
Yes.
Now we can do stash. So, Sue, do you have some stash?
I do. Let me just, put the phone away.
I was in a knitting store this morning and I have no stash.
All right.
That's pretty spectacular.
Oh, sorry. So, I was part of the Instagram second year Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted.
Yes,
And
you were.
I had asked for 3 or 4 very well-known dyers, and one of them was Once Upon a Corgi with Gabby, who I met at Stitches this year. And I basically just said I like fall colors, and so...
I apparently met her too.
Yes, but she wouldn't remember it.
Sorry.
So she sent 2 skeins because she sent one along for you guys.
Hey Gabby, where do you get those bags?
I know. I've already got that.
They're little Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Where do you get those?
I need those. So she sent a sparkle and a non-sparkle version, and this is her, the one I'm keeping is her Audrey base, which is superwash BFL and nylon, 400 yards for 100 grams. And this is Zombie Kangaroo.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. It is really awesome. And my daughter was like, ooh, I'm like, no.
And who doesn't love corgis?
She has the Once Upon a Corgi podcast as well. And then she sent 2. So the sparkle version is on her ginger base. 75 superwash merino, 20 nylon, 5 gold stellina. And it's in the same colorway, which is, I'm not going to take this one out because I have animals. And it's sparkly. So this is going to be a giveaway soon. And then I got some patterns gifted to me. Besides all the other patterns that I bought. So I got Alicia Plummer. The pattern is called, well, she doesn't really show a lot on this thing. It's called Briquette.
No, she usually doesn't have a lot of pictures.
No. And it's a very nice construction because there's like I think it's stocking stitch here, and it has like an angle, and then it's garter stitch. It's really interesting construction. And then I got Raw Honey, which is a pair of fingerless mitts, which I will show you. I kind of like Alicia Plummer, just saying. Oh, it's not a good picture, is it? Crinkle, crinkle. Sorry, not sorry. So that's too dark. Sorry, I'm trying
We'll
to
just
find
have to see them when you knit them. Move along.
Yeah, okay, fine. And then I got the Cowboy Cowl, which I've been wanting for a long time.
You can look them up on Ravelry.
Yeah. That's the Cowboy Cowl. And what I like about this,
Is that the one that Holly just did?
I'm not
I
sure.
think so.
The back, actually I'm going to show a different picture. The back has, don't want to show the chart, buttons. So for me, when I wear a shawl under my coat, it's kind of bulky, I find, around the neck, because I don't like to wear it on top of my coat like you do.
Mm.
And so that's perfect. It's flat.
Yeah.
And so
It's really lovely. I love Holly's is beautiful.
Yeah, and this is Pam Powers Knits. That's who designed that one.
Yeah, 'cause she did a gray one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have a bunch of other. I got this one gifted me, which is Alicia Plummer. I believe Sarah gifted this to me just because. And this is called Mid-Autumn, and it's a beautiful shawl. Oh, it's hard to see. Sorry.
Look it up on Rap. That's the one drawback with Alicia Plummer patterns. Is the
There's
photography
not,
is
yeah.
not,
It is nice. It looks like it's a worsted weight. No, it's a DK weight shawl.
But I have some.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've got yarn for that, and it's well. See, my problem is I have to pick between two cream. I have cream, but which one am I going to knit? Then I saw this, and I thought it was interesting, and I thought I might make it. I just might, like just as a a third blanket. This
we
is
don't have
the
enough blankets going on.
hexagon.
Well, there is going to be a zombie apocalypse, and you need to be warm.
Just stick me in a bathtub with all my yarn. I'll be warm.
There you go.
And then this one is from Knitsomaniac Designed, and it's the Muskogee cowl. I love this. Beautiful. I love it when they have big pictures. And that is Knitsomaniac Designs, and it's Jennifer Tomasian. Let me save that one for last. I'm joining a knit along that Tin Can Knits is having.
You're joining the hack along, are you?
Yeah, I'm joining the hack along. So basically, I'm going to do the mitts that they posted, and I'm just going to hack them because that's the whole point.
You're supposed to make a change to the pattern,
Or
of
any
some
Tin
kind,
Can
any
knits.
of their patterns.
Yeah, but I thought
okay.
this
But
would be really easy.
unfortunately, you couldn't have cast it on before a certain date because I was like, "Oh, my flax sweater would be perfect because I totally changed it."
Is that
but
a free pattern?
yeah,
This, yes. I have the Pay It Forward mitts by Joji Locatelli.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, those are really, really
Although
nice.
I have to be
Is that
honest, in
caping,
our
or is
climate, no, it's
No.
kind of a lace
oh,
pattern.
it's lace. Okay.
In our climate, fingering mittens, not so helpful.
well, they are for me.
Yeah, for you.
And
not
I
for
got Beneath the Pines by While the Play Original Knit Design.
No.
Kalura Hudson.
me. While they play.
While they play. Oh, stop. Words.
You know that the only reason I wore my coat yesterday when we went out to lunch is because Estelle made me.
And you saw this one already, which is Brandy's pattern that I'm knitting on.
The running through socks.
Yep. And then the last one, I'm going to segue into something. So Kristen of Skein Yarns, Kristen Finley, has published a new pattern called Intersection. And all I did was say in the comments how I loved the pattern, and she gifted it to the three of us.
Yeah,
Because
thank
she's
you.
awesome.
She is.
And the reason I showed this one last is because we were chatting, as her and I do sometimes, and she is going to give away a pattern. Well, a whole kit. The pattern and actually this
Color combination.
color combination of yarn to one of you guys. Skein yarn.
That's 3 skeins of
Yeah,
skein yarn.
it's sport yarn, but still.
Oh,
3.
beautiful. And that is kind of a cream and a sort of a dusty pink and
I can tell
a
you
nice
exactly.
navy
It's
blue.
the yarn is Crema, Metropolis, which is the purple, and Antler, which is the pink.
Metropolis.
Metropolis.
You
Yes.
said Metropolis.
Yeah. Sorry.
You were pronouncing in French.
Okay. And so basically, what I decided to have you guys answer is, tell us what colorway you would choose besides the kit that you're going to win. It's going to be open until Friday, December 16th, and the winner will be chosen on December 17th.
So 2 weeks.
1 post per person. You have to be a member of the group, and there will be no chatter because this one will delete it. Yeah, so, and the reason I saw it is she comes up with patterns quite often, but she always posts it in our group. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, Kristen has a pattern.
We love you, Kristen.
We love you.
Yeah, and I'm going to be. She sent
I
us
think
some
I'm
yarn.
gonna have to find some yarn to knit that in.
Yeah, I love the fact that it's a sport weight, and you could even do that in worsted weight.
Well, I
It
don't
would be
I
wonderful.
don't have enough sport, and I was going to go to fingering, but I didn't.
No, I would go to DK.
I was gonna
Okay.
say I have DK that would be perfect for
I have
that.
that gray DK that I bought at Twist, and then I could plottiness because I need to have something else on, right? So what did you guys get?
So
I got nothing.
You've got no stash?
No stash. Hi, I'm unemployed. Again. I have to be
So
good.
I have one skein of yarn, and that's it. And I already talked about this the last time I was on, that I had been bad. And I'd gone on to Wool Barn.
So pretty.
And I had bought this very...
It's glowy.
It really glows. It's got a little bit more oranginess to it than is coming up on the screen at this point.
It's a little bit richer.
Yeah, it's a little bit richer. When we went to Rhinebeck, I bought that salmon skein, the brown skein, and a beige skein. But I wasn't actually 100% thrilled for the beige skein for what I was thinking.
Is it touchable?
I really need to get
Yeah.
some of her yarn. Where's she
It's a
BFL.
yeah, it's a BFL. I didn't realize that.
Bonus. Where is she based?
It's so
In
squishy.
England.
Right.
You can have it back.
Yeah, and so when I went onto her site and I saw this, I was just like, this is such a rich color.
Will
And
she
so-
be at
Edinburgh Yarn Festival? I don't know.
What else is in there? Okay.
Sorry,
that
we're
explains
drooling.
a lot.
It's a BFL silk and cashmere.
That explains a lot because that's the softest BFL I have ever touched.
Yeah, it's not an MCN. It's a BFL SC. There you go. But yeah, and it's cozy. That is the colorway.
Well, yeah.
So nice.
And then I got a gift in the...
You
Where'd
had
the
to know
yarn
it was
go?
going to go down there.
Where did the yarn go?
You had to know it was going to go down there.
Gift in the what?
I got a package in the mail from my aunt.
I thought it said Mecca Mika.
No,
or
Marimekko.
Marimekko. Oh my
You're
lord.
confusing it with Mika Mika,
Yeah, I know. Shamika.
who has episode 2 of her podcast up.
She does. It was so fun to watch.
I know. I had so much fun with that one.
So she sent me some Marimekko fabric. So if you're familiar
pretty.
with Marimekko, then you will recognize. I already had this one, and she sent me more. Not
No. It's pink.
this woman. So there's that. I had made my mom a bag with some of this. And
Wow.
I'm kind of thinking like big pillows or something.
Would that go good in your house?
I don't know.
No, you can't come
Then
in.
there's some
No,
typical
they're not knocking here.
typical Marimekko. The oops, it went unfocused.
There we go.
So not a huge piece of this.
Yeah, you
So
can
this
make a
is like
sock bag or
Leftover from something.
something.
Yeah. And then another one too that is
Woo, bright.
yeah, woohoo! And again, this is sort of a
Very 70s.
very 70s. And to be honest,
Oh, and there's
look
a
at that.
spot of green.
Then there's this. Boing! Look at that. So it's from a really large print. So she sent me a bunch of fabric and said, "Make." It was just before Isla's birthday, and so she was like, "You should make something for Isla with some of this." And I'm like, "Okay, now I got to figure out what I'm gonna make for Isla." But I did think that although Isla's room is a complete mishmash and it's never gonna be anything but that, but I thought at some point it could be nice to make big pillows for Isla out of this fabric.
And I could see a little purse with a long strap out of that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, some sort of project bag or a little purse. I made her a purse already and she uses it. She actually uses it. So that's awesome.
Well, you've made her another bag for piano too.
Yeah, which I haven't shown you guys. I made a great piano bag because my daughter
So pretty.
was using a Lululemon bag.
Oh, I
and it
love
fell
that one
apart.
with the pomegranate and the apple. And
Yeah,
the
this one I really,
The
really,
fruits.
the colors are so lovely in here.
Their colors are very rich.
Well, they're known for bold design, right? And these are all relatively modern ones. This looks like it could be a retro one. This one looks like it could be from the 70s.
And it's it's like a nice thickness.
Very thick fabric. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice heavy.
Yeah, although they also do an upholstery range. But their
Wow.
fabrics, yeah.
Imagine a bag.
And
in
they
that.
also have a line of clothing. But most of the fabric, when you buy it, it's more in this sort of thick cotton type. And then I also got some patterns. So like Sue and Lynn, I got the intersection and the running through the socks. So thank you so much for gifting these patterns. It's really great. I also bought
Oh, I have that pattern.
Anna Fletcher's, Beyond. Vanilla is the New Black series. She's got a whole where she's done a very unusual, different kind of heel, And I keep seeing people posting. I'm so glad that her
I know,
patterns are
it's
popular.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's
She's
awesome.
actually going to be one of our featured
she's
designers
here.
for camp.
Ottawa.
Nice.
So I bought this one, which is called Vanilla Reversed, and this pattern is actually inside out or outside in, whichever way you want. And I thought that is cool because sometimes with variegated yarns especially, you're like, they look so good on the purl side. So you can knit it on the stockinette side and then just turn it inside out.
Yeah, because
like,
there's a picture
how
there.
fabulous
of both,
is
right?
that? Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but
One of them is pearl and
one of these is knit and one of them is on the purl side. So I really liked that idea, and I really liked the construction of the heel.
Her black
So
series.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
to make that soon.
I have the black series and a few other patterns from her.
And then Ekaterina Blanchard came out with her name is, I think she's Katie Tricot on Instagram, and I follow her, and she came out with this pattern, and it was just so
That's
beautiful.
so cute. I love
It
the
was
picture on the back.
so beautiful. A hat and a cowl, or
It's
kind
just
of
a
like
larger version of the picture on
capulette.
the front, but isn't
Yeah.
that cute?
And so I just thought it was such a lovely design. And it goes from toddler through to adult sizes. So
I love
think-
designers who do that.
Yep.
yeah. So I bought that. Then I was gifted this pattern, which was in my wish list. Thank you very much to the person who gifted it to me. And this has been there for a while. I've been thinking about making some sort of a Gansey top, and for quite a while. This is Caspian by Jared Flood, and it's a worsted weight Gansey style pullover. So I'm going to be making that at
I've
some
never
point.
understood why they call it a Gansey.
It's from it's a particular type with usually different kinds of stitches.
Yeah, it's a particular style from the Gansey region.
Yeah.
But what else do they call sweaters?
Aaron.
In
Well, but
Europe.
that's different. Those are Aaron style.
There's
sweaters.
that, what's that, bolus or something like that? The one with the
Oh,
top?
those, but the bohus, but those are
Yeah.
from Sweden.
Yeah, but I mean, like, different areas
Yes,
in
have
Europe
different
call
styles of
their
Okay.
sweaters
sweaters, right?
different things, but that's specifically typical to the Gansey region.
Oh, Dre
Mhm.
Renee.
And then I had to buy this one. This is Andrea Mowry's shawl pattern. It's a mixture of plain knitting and brioche knitting. It's just so beautiful. So I'm hoping to make it at some point.
I don't speak your teenager's sign language.
Yeah, a teenager
I
just came
understood
in.
all of that.
He wanted a bus pass, didn't he?
I was supposed to renew his bus pass, so the man is doing it for him.
So anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just got a beautiful leaf motif on it. And the leaf motif
Can I see?
is the brioche part, but the rest of it is just plain stockinette
Oh, you said
striped.
brioche. Here you go.
So I like the fact that it's kind of a mixture of the two.
Did you hear her?
You
Oh,
said
brioche.
brioche. Here you
Here.
go. Nope.
Yeah, I'm a little intimidated by this.
But you've done brioche.
I've done brioche, plain brioche.
think
This
you'll
is
be
a
fine.
patterned brioche, but I'm like, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Selma, it's you.
Yeah. She's
You can
a little
usually-
bit nervous about
She
trying
can
new
be,
things.
but I know she'll do just fine.
And there's certain things I've never done, like beading. It intimidates me.
There's another thing. I'm like, nope.
I'd like to do it.
It doesn't appeal to me because I don't like having to touch the beads,
I
like
know.
in the fabric.
Yeah. Exactly. And then,
But
no.
they're
but
really pretty. though.
Shella's hat yesterday.
Oh, Shella's stuff is
This
amazing.
knitter that we've met, she's on Ravelry. We've met at work, and now she's kind of become part of our lunchtime knitting group. She does a lot of beaded stuff.
Well, she's a student, and her first day at work with Lynn, she's like, I recognize you.
You're from Ravelry, and I was like,
yeah,
yes,
she doesn't
I
watch
am.
podcasts, but she recognized her from Ravelry.
Yeah.
She has
Oh.
she wears a shawl that was her wedding shawl,
The
and it's
purple one?
beaded,
The Even Star. I think.
stunning.
I
And
think
then
it was the Even Star.
Yeah.
she's worn and then she had a cowl one day that was beaded, and yesterday she was wearing a black cabled hat with beads in between, and I was like, I
Yeah.
really like that.
I like the way it looks. I just don't like the way it feels.
Yeah, in a hat I think it would be okay. I don't think I'd want to wear it in clothing, but I would very much like to at least do the technique.
And there's not a lot of beads in that?
No, yeah, like I think in her shawl there was something like 10,000 beads or
that's
something
crazy.
ridiculous.
And she
And I
took
thought-
some out.
I don't know.
Because she said there was a spot where she was supposed to put some and she didn't like where it was.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I got.
Okay. So that brings us to I'm Broke, Save Me Money. Bags by
That's
Awesome Granny. Ongoing coupon code for 10% off, and it's the number 2, TS, and the number 10. Who's next?
6 Munchkin Stitching has an ongoing coupon code for 10% off, and the code is the word 2, Tangled, and the number is 10.
That's what
Selma
happens
had
when you're
tea in her
drinking.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't want to rush you.
Nope.
Yeah. So there you go. It's so nice to be on here. Boy, do I ever miss seeing everybody, although I'm not seeing anybody, but I still miss the interaction.
And yeah, it's the YouTube comments I love. It's like,
Yeah.
and there's more when you're on. There is.
And just, yeah, it's really fun building the community, and I really feel like I think my non-knitting friends, they don't get it.
No, they don't.
No.
They really don't get it, and I think they don't understand how
Much we need this every day.
well, not how much we need this, but how involved on a certain level we really are with all one another. And I just feel like I chat on Instagram with people.
We know people around the world.
I know. My mother wants to go on a trip, and she can't travel by herself anymore. And she's really been talking about wanting to travel. So I said, well, I could take you to New York.
There's,
Vogue Knitting Live is happening mid-January.
you know, there's
Then she started talking
Shamika
about
and-
wanting to go south. But I was like, we could go to New York. I've got friends there. Like, we can hang out with people. And
Mina just moved there.
Mina just moved there. And who knows? Maybe she'll have
Kristen.
a little nugget
Isn't
at that
Shamika
point.
from there?
Yeah,
Shamika
lives in
lives
Brooklyn.
like one train ride away from Kristen.
Yeah.
But I just, I'm going to Edinburgh, and I'm thinking, I'm going to see people that I've been connecting with through Instagram. It's just
Dana close
warms
to there?
my heart. Dana's coming. She lives in
Okay.
Germany. All kinds of people that I've been communicating with, and it's just the greatest. It's just wonderful. I feel like, we see each other, we
People
support
don't-
each other, and I find the Instagram knitting community very supportive. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if there's any nastiness, I haven't come across it, and I think, quite honestly, everybody would probably jump down that person's throat in a second, right?
Yeah.
And I just love that. It's just so supportive.
We don't tolerate people picking on our friends.
No. And I mean, it's such a huge community that people don't realize that when you tell them about Rhinebeck, they're like, oh, yarn festival. It's like there's tens of thousands of people that go to this thing. Edinburgh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And we have our little ones here and there, but they don't get it.
And it's so much fun. People are just, encouraging one another and laughing
everybody's
together.
a knitter or a crocheter or a dyer.
Appreciate
When you
it.
get there,
Craft.
people get it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know you're among your people.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You're not going to get stares.
I miss it
Unless
when
they
I don't
like
have
what
the
you're knitting.
interaction. Yeah.
I'll admit, I stared at the guy with the Donald Trump hat. At Rhinebeck. I stared.
There was a guy with a Donald Trump hat. Okay, we won't talk politics.
Anyways, so
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll see everybody again before Christmas, because I suspect next weekend I'm actually going to a meditation workshop. Yeah. So I won't be around. Then the weekend after that is like the weekend before Christmas. And we're going to be making a gingerbread house and spoon cookies and all kinds of things.
spoon cookies.
If you've ever had a spoon cookie or never had a spoon cookie,
Look up spoon cookies.
November comes and I'm like, are you going to make the spoon cookies?
they're a Finnish cookie that is essentially a shortbread made with browned butter.
And I don't like shortbread, but these...
Yeah, they're not a
Oh,
typical
shortbread.
shortbread, and they're shaped in a spoon, and then the two sides are put together with strawberry jam, and they're
Imagine
just
that with your cherry jam.
yeah. Well, but really, they're
Anything.
just so good, and yeah. So I might not be here before Christmas. So happy holidays to all of you who do celebrate and enjoy the season. Enjoy it in any way that brings you joy.
So happy knitting, crafting, whatever it is you do. See you next week.